Hey everyone, this is Daniela. I've been on a bit of a hiatus since school started in August, but I've missed making videos. This weekend was actually the Project for Awesome, and I made a video again for the Harry Potter Alliance. Kind of reminded me how I enjoy making videos. So with the Project for Awesome, I always enjoy just kind of following the live stream and voting on the other people's videos, and it just reminds me of my favorite parts of YouTube, hanging out with like the nerd fighter part of that. Now I'm home from school because we actually got some snow early Sunday morning. We woke up around 6:30 in the morning and we looked out the window. We could see snow everywhere and I knew we weren't going to have school today. It was actually kind of pretty when we first woke up, although in general I don't really like the snow that much because I just don't like feeling trapped in the house. I don't really like driving in the snow. And since I'm a teacher and the district normally cancels school, naturally, I don't really like having to make those days up, but it is what it is. I am grateful though that I have a job where I don't have to go into work because the school district will cancel. I know some districts in the area will cancel for kids, but make it an optional workday for the teachers. Luckily, since I've been working for my particular district, I haven't really had to worry about that because the thought of driving in the snow definitely gives me anxiety. So a couple weeks ago, I went to the library to drop off some books and I ended up checking out 3 more because I just kind of like having books around. I'm not always great about reading books during the school year, and that's something I'm trying to be a little bit better about. So these are the 3 books that I checked out. This one is called A Year of Biblical Womanhood. It's by Rachel Held Evans. Another book I checked out is Norse Mythology, there you go, by Neil Gaiman. And then the 3rd book I checked out is called The Fencing Master by Arturo Pérez Reverte. And this book actually, when I went to the library that day, they had a little display at the front with all these books wrapped up like presents. And it was like, you know, get yourself a gift of a book. You just kind of pick a book out and had like a little description on the front. So this one was like Madrid, 16th century mystery, something like that. So I just decided to go for it. So I haven't read any of the Norse mythology book yet, but I've heard about it. I follow Neil Gaiman online and I really like his writing. He's one of my favorite authors. And I'm already familiar with some of the Norse myths. In fact, in high school, we had a unit on them in English class, and I think they're really cool. So I'm sure I'll end up enjoying that book when I get around to it. I did read a chapter so far of The Fencing Master. I just kind of put it down. Like I said, I'm not very great about reading a whole lot during the school year, but from what I've read so far, I really have enjoyed it. And it's actually a translation from Spanish, but translation seems to be going pretty good so far. I've been way more active about reading The Year of Biblical Womanhood, although I still have gone several days in a row without picking it up. I've actually read Rachel Held Evans' most recent book, Searching for Sunday, and I really liked her writing in that, so I knew I would enjoy this one, and unsurprisingly, I have been enjoying it so far. So, in this book, Rachel is taking on a year of following all the Bible's instructions for women as literally as possible. Because, you know, shortly before she wrote this book, she was kind of thinking about, you know, what does it mean to be a biblical woman, because it's something she had been hearing about, or how different groups in different church communities will talk about that. So in this book, like in the previous book of hers that I've read, her writing is a balance of humorous as well as insightful. And one thing I like about the book is that she doesn't just write about her own experiences, kind of going through this year. She also reaches out to other women from different backgrounds and different perspectives, and has sections in the book where she's either meeting with them, talking with them through email, or actually having a conversation with them face to face. Well, she'll ask them specific questions related to whatever topic she's kind of focusing on at that point in the year. The book is divided into 12 chapters, one for each month of her year of biblical womanhood, and then each month she focuses on a specific trait, like generosity, or let's see some other examples. Generosity, obedience, gentleness, things like that. At the end of each chapter, she also has a 2 to 3 page extra section about a specific woman from the Bible, and it's usually a woman that relates to whatever trait she was talking about in that previous chapter. And in these sections, she'll give a little bit of background to the woman. She'll kind of show her importance in, whatever book of the Bible she is in. And she'll also kind of dispel any sort of misconceptions about that character. Like she had a section on Mary Magdalene. And I personally really enjoy those as well. I look forward to that when I get to the end of each chapter. So I'm definitely very glad that I stumbled upon this book. I was just skimming through the shelves of the library and I came across it. It feels quite insightful for me. I think just some of the perspectives that Rachel has, I have similar ones to her. And so the things that she is kind of discovering or thinking about as she's intending to try and live out the commands towards women as literally as possible. She makes some good points as she's kind of thinking about what she's doing and what it might mean. And it's definitely encouraging the reader to think critically about, some things that if you grow up in a certain community, you hear like, oh, it's important to live as a biblical woman. Well, what does that really mean, right? And so the book, especially, I'm a little more than halfway through, it's definitely kind of taking some of those ideas that we might just talk about in society and encouraging you to think more critically about what does that really mean? Where do these ideas really come from? So that's all for now. And yeah, until next time. Bye.